There's a boil, there's a boil.
Oh,
He's
that's
on it.
a big fish.
He's on it. He's on it. Come on. Oh.
Early June, and it's looking a lot like Middleground should look like in early June. We got big gulls up in the sky. It's the squiddy time of year, and so for today I got the Hogy charter grade squid plug. This is the new larger size. I have the floating topwater version, and I'm just going to get right to it. My first cast on Middleground of the year. I'm going to get control of my line, and I'm just going to scoot this bait right across the surface. You know, like I said, it's a floating version. Oh, that didn't take long. The floating version of this lure is so much fun to fish with. You can just twitch it and pop it as it swings down the tide there. And you see every hit. They knock it out of the water. It's just a really fun lure to use. It's relatively easy to fish. And I like that it's a handle when you get it next to the boat. So we're off to a great start with the new larger squid plug, as you can see here. So the floating plug is really handy for staying on top of the weeds, not to mention the fact it's a very fun lure to fish. You see all the hits. Now you'll notice how I'm holding this fish. I'm supporting its belly region when holding it. If I can help it, I like to keep the fish in the water when I'm releasing, but this one we just took out quickly for the camera, but I'm being very careful to support the middle section of the fish. I'm gonna unhook this fish and release it.
The fish we're catching today are in that nice 24, 26-inch range, which puts them in that 2011 year class. And talk a little bit about conservation just for a second and about the real benefits of this plug. You know, when we're fishing on this size class fish, these fish need to be released. They need to be released safely. This is a plug, single hook, easy release. As Mike said, you can leave the fish in the water. Just grab the plug, push down and release the fish in the water. You don't have to pick it up, bring it, drop it in the boat. You know, when you're fishing on a year class like this, think about the plug you're using and use something that's going to be fun to catch fish with, but it's also going to be good for the health of the fish.
Oh, I miss using this style lure. You can just grab it.
And so what I'm doing is I'm pushing up to the rip line, which is where the current hits the bar. Basically, Middleground is a big sandbar. And when it hits that bar, the water has no place to go, so it picks up speed and it creates this chop. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit on what's called the uptide side, which means I'm gonna go through the rip and put the bow of the boat into the current. And we're gonna sit there, I'm gonna stem the tide, which means I'm gonna leave my boat in gear and just slowly hold Mike in position. And if we look down the rip line, you can actually see spots where you have a point that sticks out further and then it curves in, which I call the bowl. So I call it points and bowls, very similar to what beach fishermen are familiar with. And so Mike's gonna cast it up tide. He's gonna let it swing into that smoother water where the striped bass are. There they are right there. They're actually, you can see them pushing squid right there. So Mike's gonna give it his cast up tide. He's gonna let it swing and we should get a strike pretty quickly. Okay, good cast, perfect cast, perfect cast.
So there's pretty much no wrong way to work the squid plug. I guess method number one is to keep your tip pointed at the sky and just have a medium retrieve speed. And that lure will just scoot right across the surface like a fleeing squid. And then the other retrieve is to slow down and twitch the rod and make the lure dance and dart and have lots of action like that. And what I tend to do is switch between the scoot method, which is the medium retrieve, and then I'll interrupt that pattern with some twitching and popping, one then the other, one then the other. And but these lures are so lifelike that you just need the lure moving in the water and you're going to be in the zone, especially if these fish are keyed in on squid.